Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Dosa, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present to you the class Dosa. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side are all of his skills. On the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills. And next to skills is CD, which is the cooldown for each skill. Then to the right is charges, which is how many times you can use that skill. And next to that is hits, how many times that skill will hit a creature or opponent when you use it. Next to that is damage-PVE, that is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest damage that skill will do against another player's character. And you have the passive at the bottom in pink. So take a moment to look at everything here, and actually I need to point this out. In specials you'll notice that there's different colors. So for red, where it says super armor or super armor damage reduction and so on, that means it's not applied in the section of the game called arena. So if you go there, those things won't work, but everywhere else in the game it will. And what I also wanted to do was highlight the skills or spells. I want to say spells this time around inside your skills. So if you look at, say, Winter Squall, the second one down, look all the way over to the right where it says specials. When you use it, you get all those things and a spell called Icy Arrow that goes off too. It's automatic. And I wanted you to know that, hey, if you choose these skills, there's added bonuses to them. So the next one down for Cloudspire, it's called Virga Shift, or Shaft, excuse me. And there's an extra thing you can do there. I will go into that for the PvP section, so no worries. And I also wanted to highlight in light purple, very special things that I haven't seen with a character thus far in the game, and that would be Autumnal Blitz. It's towards the middle, go all the way over to the right, and you see where it says 66% of skill damage pierces forward guard. That's new. Nobody else has it. He's the only one that has it. And once again, don't worry about the passive at the bottom. I know it's huge and it's very intimidating. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do with Dosa, how he plays, what to do with this passive, and how it works. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to show you the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest damage at the top all the way down to the lowest damage at the bottom. And Spring Frost looks like it is your highest damaging skill. So in the last slide we talked about what all the colors meant and how it pertains. So the only thing to mention here is, why is there a big green block that's colored on these skills? And that's because in the game you can only take 8 skills with you. So these are the skills that I recommend that you assign first to get the hang of your character, because they have the highest damage. I definitely want you to get to know the other skills, like especially your heal, which is motion and stillness. Because when you're out there and you're fighting creatures that are higher level than you, you're going to want your potions and your skill that heals you every advantage you can get. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next part where I show you the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome. There is a lot to cover in this section, so let's get right to it. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Spring Frost continues to be your highest damaging skill. So, I'm always asked, what skills can I use that have super armor that I don't have to worry about? Can I use it here or there? You know how the ones in red don't work in arena. So Dosa has two of them that you can use in arena as well as in the world, and that is Blade Waltz and Cloud Spire. I would probably recommend Blade Waltz because it has the higher damage percentage over Cloud Spire, but that is what I'm recommending. So what we're going to do now is talk about the passive, and there's a lot to read, so bear with me. I'm going to show you a heck of a lot of stuff so you understand how it all works. So let's begin. Here we go. So your passive is called Unsa's Hair, and I normally put in what you need to do to activate your passive in the block to the right, but instead it says your sword dance heralds in a new beginning for Do Arts. That actually has a lot of meaning, because you'll find that he does need to dance around. He just can't stand in place. That's not his style. So, looking to the right, when your passive is active, you consume all cloud particles upon use of the skill Teguk with 100 or more to summon the Cloud General. The Summon Cloud General uses Spring Frost, Summer Breeze, Autumnal Blitz, and Winter Squall with you. Damage is based on the distance between the Cloud General and Dosa. So in other words, when you summon the Cloud General, you want him to be next to you. Don't zip away and do the skill, otherwise the poor general's gonna be doing 25%, whereas if you're both next to it and doing the skill and you're doing it at the same time, he's gonna be doing 100%. So that's just advice. Cloud Legion, when the Cloud General is summoned, now this is gonna sound weird, deactivate decrease attack speed and apply immunity against decrease attack speed debuff. So that's if somebody does that to you to slow your attack. If they hit you with their skill and it debuffs you to slow you down, what they're saying is Cloud Legion will give you immunity against that, so it won't affect you for 8 seconds. And I'll show you where to look to see when that's on and active. Plus, all skill damage is increased 10% for 8 seconds. Now, Cloud Shield, it says wrap yourself in clouds and PvP damage taken is minus 20% for 5 seconds upon the use of Blade Waltz, Cloud Spire, Cloud Step, Sensory Slash, or Fog Bloom. Now this next part I really had a hard time even seeing or doing, so I'll leave it to you ultimately in the end, and that is create a glacial fog nearby upon cast motion of Spring Frost, Summer Breeze, Autumnal Blitz, Winter Squall, Teguk, or, and I'm gonna point this out, people, Cloud Veil is not one of your skills. It is a typo. I don't know where Cloud Veil is in the description. There's nothing. There's no Cloud Veil. So it's kind of like, hey, we need some understanding on this. It's for you to figure out. I'm so sorry to do that to you, but I don't want you to be confused and say, where's this Cloud Veil? But when you see the Glacial Fog, it does 500% damage on hit, 100% PvP damage on hit, max at 3 hits. Branch and skill enhancements are not applied. And these last things, which are activate Cloud Conceal at a 50% chance when inflicted with stun, daze, or knockdown. This is something you and your friend will need to be in like a fight together in arena and check this out. It's like, hey, I want to know if my Cloud Conceal actually kicks in with that 50%. So you're going to use skills on me that stun me or daze me or knock me down so I can see if there's a difference. So I can't do that. I could try, but ultimately with your friend, that's how you want to verify that that's there. And Cloud Conceal, move after transforming into a cloud for 1 second. Invincibility while moving, and it's not applied in arena. Oh, I just told you to go to an arena. When you and your friend are out in the world and you're doing a one-on-one fight, this is where you would verify it. And I imagine when that 50% chance kicks in for Cloud Conceal, then you will see that you are a cloud. I won't be showing that to you because that's really hard for me to show you. I need 2 accounts to go at each other and to get this to happen. That would just delay this video from being out a little bit quicker than possible. So now that I read you all of that and your head's probably spinning like, what? Let's show you a video of what it all looks like. So here we go. Okay, first things first. During gameplay, if you look at the center of your screen at the bottom, this is where your cloud particles gauge is. It has a total of 5 sections, so you'll see it divided that fills up using certain skills. When the 5 sections of the gauge are filled, you can summon the Cloud General whenever you like using the skill called Taeguk. All of the cloud particles will be used, but you can use skills to replenish the gauge and summon the Cloud General again. And I wanted you to be aware of where you're looking. So now that you know that, let's move on. Okay, so at the bottom right corner, there are 5 skills. You see the top row from left to right. Those skills and the one all the way at the bottom right corner, there it is, they all generate cloud particles. So we'll be using that. Taeguk is the one on the bottom left corner. It looks like a big ball of something. We're gonna pick on this guy, and our cloud particles are already at 100%. So we're gonna activate it, and you'll see the general in white to the right. You see, we're using the skills that generate cloud particles, and he can only come out for 3 attacks. If you are using the attacks, it'll be 3 and then he disappears. But look, he generated it so fast, he comes back again. And that's what they mean by the distance. You don't want to be away from the Cloud General when you're doing your attacks. You want to be right beside him. So the next thing I wanted to show you is these 2 skills. And they are called Sensory Slash and Cloud Spire. So let's go ahead and pull this guy to us, and it'll be the 2 skills in the middle in the bottom row. So that one right there is Sensory Slash, and you can delay it. You can tap it to activate and then wait and then tap and hold, and he'll appear behind your opponent. Or you can just hold it down and he will be very fast to attack and be behind him and attack again. The next one is Cloud Spire. So you just attack and hold, and they will appear right behind them, like teleport immediately behind them. So these 2 make him very fast, and I want you to be aware of it and utilize it. So the next thing is to show you the buffs. Cloud Legion is when the Cloud General comes out, and this is where it is, and this is what it looks like. So when you see that red icon and the General's out, you have the Cloud Legion buff. The other one is using I think it's called Blade Waltz, and it happens very fast, but there are other skills that activate Cloud Shield, and as you can see, it's for player versus player battles. So now that you know how this all works, let's make it a little bit easier to understand and return. Here we go. And so I put this together so you would be able to understand Dosa a heck of a lot easier. And here's how it works. On the left hand side, you create cloud particles with these 5 skills. So organize them however you like. To summon the Cloud General, you use this skill, Taeguk. And right below it, he will do any of these skills with you, but only 3 skills per appearance. So you summon him, you do your 3 skills, which are below: Spring Frost, Winter Squall, Summer Breeze, and Autumnal Blitz. So any one of those 4, you do it 3 of them, and he will join you, and then he'll disappear, but you're also building up cloud particles, so he'll be right back, and you can change it up and do 3 more, and keep going, and your opponent will, they'll just get hurt. So below that it says, and this status and skill buff is active for 8 seconds while the Cloud General's out, which is Cloud Legion. So the left column is all about the Cloud General and what you do to get him to come out. On the right hand side is when you're in a PvP fight and you're a PvP style person, you activate the Cloud Shield using Blade Waltz, Cloud Step, Cloud Spire, Sensory Slash, and Fog Bloom. So those 5 skills are available to you for PvP, and it activates Cloud Shield. I mean, look at that. PvP damage taken minus 20% for 5 seconds, and you can refresh it every time you use one of these skills. So tap Blade Waltz, 5, 4, 3, Cloud Spire, reset, 5, 4, 3. You can just keep it a constant minus 20% damage taken buff for you, and your opponents won't like that very much. There's so many other things you can combine with it to minimize your damage. So enjoy this, print it out, put it on another screen, but this will allow you to enjoy Dosa to his fullest. So now that that is said, take a moment to look at this, and we will move on to the next slide, which is called the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome. So before we get started, allow me to tell you where you can find this information. When you're in the game and you tap on the 3 bars in the top right corner and you open up the menu, you tap on skills, and you are on the skill screen, you go to the middle of that screen where it says skill combos, and there's a magnifying glass with a circle around it. You tap on that and a window will appear that says list of skill combos. What I've done is I've taken that list and I have expanded it to be on one screen for you now. So now that you know where to find it, here's how it works. On the left hand side in dark blue is the skills that Pearl Abyss suggests or recommends that you start with and then chain into, or the next thing you would do is one of the skills in the gray column on the right. So if we look at the top left corner for Blade Waltz, when you do Blade Waltz, you can then do Summer Breeze, Taeguk, or Sensory Slash, one of those 3. And then if you did say Summer Breeze, then look over to the right hand side where it says Summer Breeze in blue. You would then go from Blade Waltz to Summer Breeze, and now when you're at the Summer Breeze section, you can do Winter Squall, Autumnal Blitz, or Spring Frost. So you can do one of those and keep going. So you literally can bounce all over this place to keep combinations going. I normally give people a 3 to 4 hit combo, but looking at this, you can just keep going for infinite combos. Now, what I want to do is show you something special, and that is, look right here. Cloud Veil. You remember that? That was the description of how to bring up the fog, and I was like, well, I don't see Cloud Veil in any of our skills. Well, that's because we don't have it. However, it is possible that you could do this with the skill you do have called Cloud Step. So you could try Cloud Step, and then Taeguk is the next one you want to do, or Cloud Step and possibly Summer Breeze. So this is for you to experiment and try out, but I just wanted to say, hey look, there it is. How about that? And where's Cloud Step? Not on this list, so that might be what they meant. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is called the Enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome. If you are new to the Enhancement slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side are all of Dosa's skills. On the far right hand side are all the branch damage connected to those skills. And in the center is 4 columns where the first from left to right, the first one, the second one, and the fourth one, I try to make all things that help benefit Dosa as you play him. The third column, I try to reserve that for things that happen to the creature or the player's character that you are fighting against. So now that you know how this works, allow me to move around and tell you more about it. First of all, when you are on the skills screen and you tap on a skill, and you see to the left of it that the skill icon's in the center and there's these circles around it, those are enhancements, things that add on to the base skill. So if we look at Blade Waltz, you have Blade Waltz and what it does, but when you are able to unlock, say, the flow, it will be Blade Waltz and whatever the flow does, which is an additional attack, the percentage, how much damage it does in PVE and PVP. It has a super armor attached to it and will daze your opponent or the creature that you're fighting. So you have to unlock this. If you see a number next to that enhancement that's red, that means you need to collect books that are gold, and you can go to let's see, you can go to Expedition in the game and then say Valor. If you go to Valor, and then you'll see these gold books that are skill, they improve all your skills, which boosts this section. So Blade Waltz will be a level 1, 2, or 3, whatever that red number says. When you get up to it, then you can pay silver, unlock this enhancement, and now Blade Waltz will have the additional attack flow and everything else with it. And you're not done. There's more to unlock. There's a target DP minus 20 for 10 seconds. So the CP, or the strength of the creature or opponent you're fighting, is reduced by 20 for 10 seconds when you hit them with Blade Waltz. And there's one more thing to unlock, and that is a move speed for 10 seconds. This is where I show you Dosa gets faster. So when you unlock this for Blade Waltz, he will get faster for 10 seconds every time you use that skill. So this is how it works, and you want to unlock them all. Some just to pay silver, others have a level requirement for the base skill that you need to get up to, and you want to go again to the section in the game called Expedition and say Valor, for example, and do that. The treasure you get will be skill books that are gold that'll level up the skill and get you to being closer to unlocking that enhancement. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next section, which is called the player card. Here we go. And welcome. So what this is a player card like a baseball card. It is all the screens you just saw all combined onto one. People usually like to come here and print this out or have it on another screen so you can compare one character versus another and what they have. So you're not looking everywhere, you have it right here. So there is one thing on here that is different. from everything you've seen, so let's go ahead and get to how this works. At the top, you'll see the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, and then to the right of that is something new. I call it immobilization. Anytime that an opponent's character or creature knocks you down, stuns you, freeze. Actually, I don't recall a creature doing that, but if they did, that is an immobilization. So when you're in PvP and going up against someone, you want to throw as many immobilizations as you can to knock them down so you can get in an extra hit. And what this is showing is that your skill, Winter Squall, Cloud Spire, Summer Breeze, they all have 2 immobilizations. The more you throw at your opponent, the greater chance you'll get to knock them down. Here's what I mean. If we look at Winter Squall and you go to the skills below, and it's the second one down, go over to the right where it says specials. It's not super armor, it is bound. Bound is one of the immobilizations. You're recovering cloud particles, and there's the icy arrow spell that comes with it, and then you're stunning them. So that's the 2 immobilizations, is bound and stun. So that's how it works. And you already know about skills. We just covered enhancements. So if you've been wondering all this time, what is super armor? Well, hang on, because we got one more thing to tell you, and that is forward guard. In your skills, I believe there is a forward guard. Yes, it's the skill Taeguk, has forward guard as well as a rear super armor. So here's what that is. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. There are so many characters in this game that have forward guard, and there's the option to change super armor to forward guard or vice versa. But this is the first character, Dosa, that breaks through that forward guard. So I just read to you, the damage will be either 0 or heavily reduced. No, not anymore. If you use the skill Autumnal Blitz, 66% of the skill damage pierces through that forward guard. So all those people that are like, you can't touch me, I got forward guard. Well, they're going to be scared of you now, because with Dosa, 66% of that damage is getting through. So that's how forward guard works. Super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. So this is why when you're in a fight and people get their super armor active right off the bat, because they don't want to get immobilized, and they're going to keep using their super armor to refresh that. So what you can do is throw Winter Squall, Cloud Spire, Summer Breeze, and anything else you possibly can at them to increase your chances to get in immobilization when they need to refresh their super armor. And they'll get knocked down, you'll get 2 hits in, and that really can turn the tide of battle. So that's how super armor works. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to a gameplay video where we show you what Dosa can do. Here we go. And welcome. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here, well, because we're always here. Their CP is 2,519, and Dosa's is a measly 40,219. He'll be fine. So the way this works is we will tap on this auto path, and he will fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we'll go to town. I'll get my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the class Dosa. Here we go. And it's about that time to head back to town. Just a few more things. There we go. So while we're loading that up and getting in, let me say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the videos on this channel, please like, subscribe, let people know I am always making more videos, and there are always more videos left to do. So once again, we are here putting Dosa in a kind of a frame to show him off. And this is where we do some fun things. We just like to see what his wave is like and what his clapping is like. So there's his wave. I kind of wish he blinked his eyes more. It's kind of creepy. So, let's see his clap. There you go. Nice hearty clap. Very cool. So, once again, I do want to say thank you. Thank you very much. And you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye now.